Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Columbus Day. I hope you had a good weekend. I took a little time off from building the model this weekend to do some stuff around the house, clean a bunch of stuff that hasn't been cleaned in a while, that sort of thing, while I'm on involuntary vacation. But it gave me some time to think about the model and what I wanted to do for the next step. I was going to start today by painting, and then I got a little crazy with what else is new. But I'll give you a little recap of what I've done off camera. Here is the body. It's fully dry now. Did a little repair work on the protective film that I accidentally peeled off here. And I went ahead and masked the underside of the car to protect the white from any blue paint. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to paint today or not. I came across in my pile of paints this a dark blue that I haven't sprayed yet from Tamiya. This is not the code. This is not what they want me to use, but I think we've established that this blue is the wrong blue, even though this is the blue that they request we use. I haven't done a test spray of either of these yet. I probably will do that off camera and see if either one of these are close enough to match the actual Rothman's decals. So we'll see what we're going to do from that. But you can tell I'm on the fence. So I started thinking, well, I can at least I have this masked off. It's ready to go whenever I decide to do that. The only little doodads I painted in here with some liquid mask, which is drying. That's why it looks the way it looks. Those are the brake inlet ducts. I'm sure they have stickers for that, but I want to keep them clear. Maybe I'll put some screen in there and make it look a little more realistic. If they even have screen, they may not. I got to check the model on that. But what really kind of kept me up at night, last night, literally, was I started masking the lights and getting them ready to paint today. And I was doing that off camera just so I could paint today and really do that. So I took these guys left and right, and I painted the backside with liquid mask, protecting the clear area. And they requested, if you look at the instructions, they request that you paint the underside black. And then when you're done, you peel the film off on the top surface. I don't know, but on the other hand, I'm not quite sure about what they really, really want, because over here, they've got them painted black, but they're showing that they're masked with these little Q masks, which I cut out rather tediously, right? They're supposed to go over each light in the front. Well, you wouldn't mask the front if you're painting the back, right? So I was a little confused about their directions here. Usually Tamiya, they give you extremely clear directions, but I'm really kind of not sure what in the hell they want here, because it seems contradictory to me. So I looked at my model, and my model is got some interesting details that are kind of hard to see, but you can see how there's a bevel of black, or is it chrome? It's hard to even tell. Might be chrome and just reflective. Might be black. So I'm assuming it's chrome. So I made a very, very complicated mask to replicate what I think is going on here. Of course, the interior where it says, where it has the decal, that's in black. And then, of course, the very dark blue. See, this blue is just so off that they recommend. I mean, it's almost black on the Rothman's blue. So I'm hoping that dark blue is going to work. Anyway, and here's my 1/18th scale car as well. This one more clearly shows the bezels as chrome. So that's what I'm going for. And I'll show you how I'm going to accomplish that. It's super complicated with the masks. So I've started, as I said, doing the inside buckets with liquid mask up to the line that you see. Let me see if I can get a toothpick or something to point out where I painted to. Forgive my hand blocking the camera and all this nonsense. Right to this edge, right there. That first lip, I painted liquid mask to on all these light buckets, okay, on the inside. So I decided if I want the bezel to be silver, I was going to have to mask both sides of this thing differently than what they are requesting in the instructions, which is much more complicated. The other thing I masked off on the underside here, by the way, is this little area here, which is supposed to be amber at some point. I'm going to see if I can get a little light in there too at some point when I do the lighting. So that's all masked on the underside on this piece. And the amber part is also masked with liquid mask on the outer surface, because unlike what they're doing in the instructions, I'm going to have paint going on both sides of this piece of plastic. So what I'm doing is I'm painting black on the outside of this surface, and I've masked off in green everything I'm protecting. Only because I'm kind of concerned that if I paint all this black, it might darken where I attach it to the white areas on the underside of the car. When I go to attach it, it might look funky. You might see those lines. So I'm going to try and keep those clear. So this side gets painted black. Once again, this gets protected with liquid mask. This little area that's supposed to be amber. The little Q masks I did stick on, but before I stuck them on, I outlined the fixture. Oh, most importantly, before I forget, most importantly, I took off the protective film. Okay, this outer surface had this protective film on it, and they wanted you to peel this off here in the second step. I'm peeling it off right from the beginning and creating my own mask, which is different than covering the whole thing up in this. So that's gone. And now I've got this area is going to be protected when I spray the front in black. It's going to be protected when I peel this off. And of course, the light buckets are a combination of the Q stickers, and then I went over them because it's not perfect with liquid mask to make sure these little edges and stuff were protected. So there is liquid mask over this whole fixture, including overlapping into some of the green masking tape, okay? So this side gets painted black, and we'll do that on camera together eventually. The opposite side, I used a different color tape and protected that with painter's tape, actually. And what we're gonna do on this side is spray paint this area. Once again, to reiterate, this has been painted with liquid mask. All in here, all in here. That little area here has been painted with liquid mask in here. You know, you can't see this once it's dry. You got to have some tiny paint brushes. And now I'm going to paint this with either silver. I actually have a chrome, but it's made for polystyrene plastic, not for polycarbonate plastic. But I'm going to test it to see if it sticks on a piece of scrap. If it sticks, I'm going to paint this with chrome. And that should give me a nice bright edge when I peel the back off. It should be black, clear, clear, clear in the middle there. This whole area black, and just those outer rings should be chrome silver. How's that for a lot of work for, you know, very, very little detail? But that's kind of what I'm shooting for. And I got to tidy up the masks a little bit. As you can see, there's a couple of edges that I got to scoot over with the toothpick before I paint this, actually. I see I was doing this actually kind of in crappy light. I didn't have my overhead light on when I was doing the taping. None of this stuff, this masking is really going to matter because the whole front of this is going to be black. All that's going to bleed through is this chrome ring and the clear, clear, and clear areas. That's it. So I don't know if you want to watch me do this. Maybe you do. So what I'm gonna do is end this video here. So I've got the description. I'll start a second video that I'm probably not gonna talk a whole hell of a lot on. I'll just, cause I really gotta, concentrate on doing this. This one took me quite a bit of time, probably took me almost an hour to do this. But if you want to see the tedium of doing it, I'll create a separate video that you can watch me sort of try and struggle with this, because getting those little edges wrapped is no joy. At least most of the liquid masking is done. I think I got to do on this one, I got to do the outer edge there, and I'll have to put the stickers on, and then I'll have to, after I put the green border tape on, then I'll go over these two areas again with liquid mask to make sure they're sealed up. But once I get this done, it's spray, spray, spray. I already did the tail light sections. So that's these. That's this guy. That's this guy. Those are those two guys. I already masked these with liquid mask and with tape. These get painted blue, and I did both sides once again with liquid mask of this, because I'm going to try and get, Tamiya makes a transparent red and a transparent yellow. So I got to buy those and spritz these in to sort of give them a translucent lens, correct lens color. I wish they provided, vacuum form lenses for these RC cars, but they don't. And then the rest of this fixture just gets painted. This part gets painted dark blue, and then there's an inner piece that gets painted silver, I think. Yeah, PS12 is silver. So once again, I could do these in chrome because this is basically the back of the light bucket. And I can do that in chrome. These do have the protective, this one does not have the protective film on it. I'll probably end up masking this over again. I don't know why I peeled it off. I've forgotten why. But it was an error on my part. So I'll probably, but I just need some basic protection because it is going to get painted from the inside, dark blue. And that will go here under the car. And it will end up, that and its other piece will get married here where it's been masked off by that sticker. And then this all gets painted dark blue. So anyway, I'll cut this one here. You know, obviously, if you don't want to go through all this and just use the decals and follow the instructions that they gave, be my guest. This is just my little experiment. I don't know if these instructions are clear enough to get to get it to look like that, but we'll see. You can try it either way. These are RC cars, obviously, so, you know, however you want to build the model, especially if you're going to race it or do something. I certainly understand you not wanting to go through all of what I'm going through. I just happen to like this part of building models more than, especially with RC cars. I really don't hop them up or do anything fancy pants with them. I pretty much build them stock because this is the part I enjoy doing. And we'll see where we go from there. But this is kind of what I hope to tackle this section today. Not with the assembly. I'm not going to do any of this. But just get all these pieces painted. I'm hoping I can get to that by this afternoon. We'll see. So, see you on the next video. Bye-bye.